This is the hacksaw. This is a really useful tool in the woods to introduce the technique of sawing to potentially quite young children. This is always one that we start with fairly early on in using tools with children. And the reason for that is it's nice and small, it's nice and manageable, it's got a fairly safe blade, so obviously it will cut, it will go through skin, but children are less likely to cut themselves with a hacksaw like this than perhaps with some of the larger tools. So it's a good one to start with. Whenever we first use a tool, we just have a quick check and make sure that it's in good condition. So we're looking for things like any signs of wear and tear, any cracks, any splits, if the blade was damaged. And we're also just checking to see that the blade is fairly clean. Once we've done that, we can then start to think about using the tool. And one of the general rules with the tools, and this applies to any cutting tool, is that we wear a glove on the non-working hand. So that is, for me, my left hand. The tool's going to be in my right hand. The reason for not having a glove in the right hand is to maintain a really good grip on the tool, but the left hand is protected by a nice thick leather glove, which means that you're not going to cut through that very easily. Now we're using a piece of elder. And elder is a really good wood to start with. It's nice and easy to cut, it's very useful, you can do loads of projects with elder, and it's a very achievable one for quite young children to start with. The other thing to mention with using any tool is that we always maintain a safe working distance. The safe working distance is the length of your arm plus the length of the tool that you're using. So in this case, it's the length of my arm plus the hacksaw, and I need to be aware of that space around me, make sure that no one else is coming in or out of that space. And if someone does come into the space, I just stop and ask them to move before I carry on sawing. So whenever we're using the hacksaw, we're kneeling down, and this is really important for young children. We're kneeling down or sitting on a log. We're not standing up. If you stand up with the tools, the chances are that there's a potential for you to fall over and to injure yourself. So if you're kneeling down, you're safe, you're closer to the ground, there's less distance to fall. And we're using a nice flat workbench with all of the cutting tools so that we've got stability and we're not going to wobble. Now when you're ready, we've got our leather glove, which is going to go on top of the wood to just keep it safe and keep it still. And then I'm going to work alongside my body. So think about the blade and where the line of the blade is going. And it should always be going alongside your body. Okay, so we don't want to see any knees near the blade or anything like that that's going to be potentially dangerous if it slips. When you're ready, these hacksaws cut on the backstroke. So the way we can start is just by doing a couple of gentle backstrokes and then backwards and forwards until we get through the elder. You'll notice that my hand is not right next to the blade. I'm keeping this back a little bit just in case it does slip. That becomes more important with the larger saws that we're going to use. When we've finished, again, all of the tools go back into the tool bag as soon as we finish using them. Make sure they're clean, have a look at them, and make sure you're counting in your tools at the end so you know how many hacksaws you've got, and make sure that they're all back into the tool bag. And that's how we safely use a hacksaw in the woods.